Hello and welcome to another edition of the Horror Debate. I'm Michael Mandy and he's Rowdy Jeff.
And this week's debate is on The Abandoned, one of the 8 films to die for. This one was directed by Nacho Cerda, and written by Kareem Hussein and Nacho Cerda.
Or Cerda, we don't know.
Yeah, well, plot us, Mike.
Plot is, well, basically, a woman from America who was raised in Russia gets a note to come to Russia because there's a 40-year-old property that's in her name, and all she has to do is come out and take possession of it. So she goes out to Russia, finds this old abandoned, basically they called it a farm ranch house thing on this little island.
It's not like it matters.
No, but
no.
a lot in this film really doesn't matter. But anyways, there's a pair of ghosts out there in the house, and so it's just like a little haunted house story.
Oh my God, Mike! What did I just watch?
You watched an artsy-fartsy Russian film, Jeff.
This was the biggest snooze fest I think I have ever sat through.
Oh.
This was like torture. I felt like I was in craptivity. Unbelievable. It was like it was testing my patience at every turn.
Well,
I mean,
Dark Ride was pretty much
why?
Like that. Why what?
Why was this even made? Why was this even green-lighted? Did Matt Damon and Ben Affleck green-light this thing?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, oh my God.
I guess not.
I got a headache, Mike.
Well,
I mean, was there a point?
The point, I think, was to see how much of a 30-minute story they could stretch out to 90 minutes.
And I was going to say artsy-fartsy, but I wasn't even going to give it that much credit.
It tried to be artsy-fartsy. Actually, you know, it did have a couple decent boo moments in it.
Oh, this thing was a headache from beginning to end, man.
Well, one of the reasons why it was a headache was because, like I said, it's a 25-minute movie stretched out to 90 minutes at least. God, how long was that film? 99 minutes.
It seemed like 199 minutes, Mike.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Well, it's because there's only 4 people in the whole movie, basically. And
it was terrible.
And 2 of them are the ghosts.
Mike? I'm going to be honest with you. I knew I was in trouble, and I said this. I said this at the beginning of the movie. I knew we were in trouble, okay? Because when they showed the beginning of the movie, right, before they started running the names of the people that so-called acted in this thing, right? Before they ran those names, they're setting up the movie, and I'm looking over at you, and as soon as the credits start and they start to like get into the main gist of it, I look at you and I say, we're in trouble.
Well, yeah, you saw the credits were in Russian.
We're in trouble. No, that had nothing to do with it being in Russian. What it had to do with is that when they were setting this story up, it went nowhere. There was no hook. There was no grab me. There was no make me care. There was nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
It was a very slow start
movie. And
movie.
I didn't care for 99 minutes. I just didn't care, Mike.
Okay, well.
Horrible.
I didn't care much either. You know, the main lady character in it, what was her name? Marie Jones. Marie. She was just a nasty person to Nikolai. She finds her brother, everyone.
Who cares?
But she was just nasty, and we were just going, look, just shoot, dude, just shoot her.
But you're saying this like I should care. I don't care.
Yeah, we didn't care.
The reason I didn't care is that, number one, there was no hook, like I said. Nothing that made me as sympathetic, empathetic.
She was nasty to her daughter on the phone. She was nasty to this guy, Nikolai, she found in the farmhouse.
The one maybe almost sort of kind of cool thing was the ghost figures, the makeup jobs.
Yeah, the ghost actually looks kind of creepy.
The makeup jobs, okay? And I can, you know, if you want to still frame like the main character when she was the ghost, you know, with her eyes rolled up in the back of her head, looking like the Undertaker's bride. Okay, yeah. Okay, I can deal with that. I like that. But I liked nothing else.
Oh, it was
nothing.
It had like the 4-minute little gap where the ghosts were following her in the house.
Nothing.
And it was creepy.
No,
the door was shaking. That didn't do anything for you.
Did not care. Like I said, Mike, you know, with horror movies, there is either an emotional attachment that will make you scared, that will make you jump, that'll make you want this person to survive. I was hoping the ghost got her.
Yeah.
End it. End the pain. This gave me a headache. I've got this frontal lobe thing going on right now, okay? It was terrible.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I didn't care about the characters at all. I wanted her to get, whacked in the head with that 2x4.
Now, I made a mention in our last review that we did, which was Dark Ride, which was also one of the 8 films to die for, and I said, you know what? This movie does not take itself too seriously. This movie is there for some comedy, some jabs, some fun, and it's harkening back to the old style horror movies.
The slasher films of the 80s.
If that did that, this movie did the exact freaking opposite.
Yeah, well.
It was a pure modern piece of steaming crap. That's all it was.
Yeah.
I mean, this was bad. This is bad filmmaking. And
Well,
this
okay,
does not even
bad
it does
pacing.
not even deserve to be in the 8 films to die for.
Wow, that's really
Does
strong.
not deserve to be under that label. You told me, Mike. You mentioned to me. You said this is the one that they thought had a chance.
Yeah, this is the one, out of all 8 films, this is the one that they released into a few select movie theaters.
Are those people dead now that watched it? I mean, do they have a pulse? I mean, there was nothing.
Yeah.
No value here.
And then when they released the box set of the 8 films to die for, they only gave you 7 of them because they were holding on to this one to hold it for a couple extra months.
Yeah, because you got to polish a turd before you can release it, Mike. I mean, come on, dude. You can't even tell me there was not one sliver of worth that you took out of this film.
I found one sliver.
What sliver?
One sliver. Just the whole scene when she's in the house and the ghosts are chasing after her. The mood was cool. The music was there. They were creepy. They were following her. She's trying to get away. They should
like I
cut
said,
that little section out and stick it in like someone's greatest hits.
Like I said, the makeup jobs were good. They were excellent. Okay, they looked.
They
good.
were creepy.
And the pig's eating the dude. That was kind of cool. Okay. But I mean, come on, man. I mean, what was his director thinking? What was the writer thinking? I mean, this is not. This would have been like a long drawn out, terrible book.
Okay, I mean, slow book.
Slow? I mean, this thing didn't move. It felt like it was just like, just get to the freaking point. You know when I was saying that?
Yeah.
At 98 minutes. That's when I say get to the point.
Mm-hmm.
There was no point.
No, I
there was no point to this movie. This film should never have been made. It never should have been in the 8 films to die for. It was terrible. There's no value here. Bomb.
Oh, okay. Well,
bomb.
I can't disagree with you. It's really hard.
The biggest snooze fest we have watched in a long since freaking the Christmas Evil.
Oh God!
I mean, since Christmas Evil, this is the biggest snooze fest.
This had to sliver better than Christmas Evil. Come on.
No.
The Christmas Evil. At all. Christmas Evil was a guy driving around in a oh God, what do you call those Chevy Love vans or whatever?
This was
with a sled painted.
This was some chick walking
at least the
around.
Makeup was good in this.
No, this was some chick walking around in a light blue hue for 100 minutes. Okay, there was and having premonitions of her dying.
I'd rather watch this again than Christmas Evil.
Dude, better you than me.
Yeah.
Okay, better you than me. This is terrible. It never should have been released. They need to go back and they need to figure out they're releasing 8 more of these films.
Yes, they are.
Okay, and let me tell you something. If they're half as sucky as what we've seen in these, I'm telling you, I would like to meet this Nacho guy. If he could get out of his tights and out of the ring long enough, I would like to meet this guy and say, "What were you thinking?"
Or better yet, let's talk to the people in charge of the 8 films to die for.
And what were they thinking?
Yeah.
I mean, okay. Bottom line is, we haven't been real happy with the 8 films to die for since we started doing the series.
Nope.
Okay, and that's the honest truth because we felt that the way these things were billed and the way they were sold to the public was a little misleading. Okay, that these were going to be so over the top, so incredibly scary, nasty, gory, ugly, etc. That we can't show these in standard theaters. We have to have this festival, right?
Right.
Bullcrap. None of them. Yeah. I'm telling you.
All of these, I think, should have been direct to DVD and probably would have been on the back shelf somewhere.
Oh, except for Dark Ride. Dark Ride so far has been my favorite. I got a kick out of that. This one, it's just like a migraine waiting to happen.
You know what's really interesting, though?
If you want a headache, rent this movie. Watch it on a big screen with surround sound.
Oh, that's another
Waste
thing.
your time.
No. Buy this film for when you get a stereo surround sound system with a subwoofer. This is the film to test your subwoofer's power out.
No.
Because, man, when that airplane went overhead,
Well, yeah.
your house shook, man.
Yeah.
Dust was falling from the rafters.
Well, actually, my soda can shook, which I thought was kind of cool. It was like a brrr, you know.
Exactly.
That wasn't too bad.
This thing had the subwoofer cranked out.
But, okay, just don't watch the movie.
Yeah.
There's no value here, and I don't
Like I
understand
said,
it.
there's 3 minutes in the film that I think are worth saving.
Yeah, I really don't understand it. This is such a bomb. It's not even funny. It's a complete, utter disappointment. They ought to be ashamed of themselves for putting this out under the label 8 Films to Die For. The only thing that's going to die is you're wanting to watch another one. Okay? So please, if you want to run it, go ahead and rent it. You're not going to want to watch any of the other 8. And I'm telling you, there's some other good stuff. I mean, not great.
You know what's really interesting about...
There's some other good stuff in that series.
What's interesting about these 8 Films to Die For? Read all the different reviews online about all these different movies. A lot of people have different opinions on which one. Oh, this film, The Grave Dancers, is the best one. No, The Abandoned is the best one. No, this is the best one.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting that these are really reaching a wide spectrum of opinions.
Yeah. Well,
But
not this one.
Yeah.
This one ain't.
No.
Show me one person who likes this flick, dude. Show me one.
Later, after the review.
Show me one person. I'm going to email them.
Okay, we'll go scan the reviews online.
They're just terrible.
We'll
I
check
mean,
all the
oh my
critics.
goodness. Just, okay. End the pain.
All right, I'm going to 1-star it just because those 4 minutes in the middle were all right.
Oh. Okay, so wait a minute now. 4 minutes for 1 star. So if it would have had 8 minutes, you would have gotten 2 stars?
No, probably not.
No, probably not. Okay, good. I'm just checking.
Okay.
Just checking because, oh my goodness.
No, just 1 star just because there is a sliver in this movie that I thought was worth watching, but ignore the rest of the film.
Oh.
So this should be used for like one of those documentaries like the rise and fall of the slasher film or, those documentary things.
What not to do in your horror flick.
No, just cut that middle section out that was really cool, and stick it on your documentary and just throw away the rest of the film.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, I'm Michael Mandy. He's Rowdy. Jeff, we'll talk to you next week when we do another one of the 8 Films to Die For. Looking forward to that one, Jeff.
Oh, yeah. You can just see the excitement beaming off of me.
All right, we'll talk to y'all next week at the Horror Debate.